incident and the slump it caused, the stock suggests it has long road ahead towards full recovery. That's a shame because I like Chipotle. Number 5, Arby's. Customers gave Arby high marks this year. Arby's, it's the beef. And then they have the commercial with a deep voice. But actually tied with the fellow sandwich specialist, Subway. With most of its business centered around the lunch hour, Arby's success is quickly happening because of its delivery. A variety of high-quality food has been critical. Its brand emphasizes on meat resonates with hungry customers, and it resonates with them big time. Subway is at number 4. Since they got rid of Jared, things have been going up big time. Their focus on fresh ingredients and its highly effective ordering system make it, difficult now for competitors to beat the sandwich giant. Subway's getting smart on speed and value, but while the company gets top marks in the diner satisfaction, it has more work to do at protecting customer loyalty in the wake of negative press. And yes, Jared. Papa John's number 3. It trounces all the other pizza chains on the list, which points to continued solid growth for the delivery specialist. Its stock, meantime, hasn't had nearly the run that rival Domino's has enjoyed. It's up 200% in the past 5 years compared to a 450% spike for Domino's. Management is aiming to take advantage of that gap by using debt to repurchase a significant portion of its outstanding shares. A lot of people at Panera Bread are going to be happy about this. Number 2, casual dining leader Panera Bread's second place showing is a testament to the strength of its founding, their founders and their founder-led business. Unfortunately for investors, it's no longer possible to own a piece of this highly regarded fast-growth sandwich chain. The company was taken off the market this year in a $7.5 billion acquisition. Chick-fil-A comes in at number 1, my favorite, and I know favorite of a lot of people. Customers love many aspects of Chick-fil-A's business. The high point includes a menu that pairs its hit chicken sandwiches with plenty of limited time offerings, an ordering system that helps it process huge customer volume, and a network of clean, well-maintained restaurants that cater particularly well to families. Chick-fil-A has not only scored the top spot in this year's customer satisfaction list, but its rating left all other limited service restaurants well behind for yet another year. And there you go, folks. Chick-fil-A, number 1. And we know where other places stand. Well, you know what? It's not only just the food at Chick-fil-A. The people really make the difference. They actually look like they're happy to be there. I don't think they're acting. I think they enjoy working there. It's a nice experience. And, working for fast food is hard. It's difficult, but there is a positive management style that seems to just be contagious working there. And they're very careful on how they screen people that work there and how they train people that work there, and you just feel good about it. And congratulations to Chick-fil-A for such a magnificent job. And I got to meet the founder before he passed away, not the brother, but Truett Cathy, who founded Chick-fil-A. He spoke in St. Petersburg at a prayer breakfast when I was hosting a Christian talk show for Salem Communications. So I was interviewing him and got to shake hands with him. And what a neat guy. I think a year before that, I've met a lot of neat people, but it was really cool to meet Art Linkletter. Kids say the darndest. It's the darndest things. They say darn, don't say damn. Kids say the darndest things, but he was like in his 90s. He's since passed away since then, but it was cool. Got to meet these guys when I worked for Salem, and had some good experiences working for those folks. So. And they're just right down the road from us. We're right next to Fox 13, and they're right off West Shore in West Laurel, but they have some nice facilities. And Hugh Hewitt, one of my favorite Christian talk show hosts, next to another person that they carry on Salem. It's Michael Medved. And I've actually sat in for Michael Medved. Yeah, the talk show host from Seattle. And neat guy as well, but great organization. Al Gore, of all people, trying to give some advice to Donald Trump, but you got to hear the stuff. Todd Beeman from Newsmax put this together, and he says former Democratic Vice President Al Gore said Thursday that President Donald Trump should resign when asked if he had any advice for the Republican now occupying the White House. Gore, 69, the former Tennessee senator and 2000 presidential nominee, made the comment to the laudable website in an interview, Political Reports. He was discussing his new movie, of course, the inconvenient sequel, Truth to Power. And Gore has recently been slamming Trump for his efforts to dismantle Obama-era environmental regulations. Gore's new film is a follow-up to his original documentary, 2006, which won an Academy Award. Well, he ain't going to win with this next one, folks. He's not going to get near the numbers because people really know it's a bunch of crap. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment about Gore's comments, but asking Donald Trump to resign. Get out of the White House. Leave. Because you want to be president? By the way, the inconvenient truth, they said that Miami was going to be underwater. That most of Florida was going to be underwater by now. Here it is, 2017, and Miami seems to be doing just fine, thank you very much. Though the Atlantic hurricane season is heating up, and we're watching one really closely here. Got another alert here. We did the show from Tampa, Florida, if you didn't know. And I got something in with my email today saying you got to watch it because next week, it could be much closer to the Florida coast. So it is that time of year, and things are really, really heating up. But, flooding, storm surge, we saw that with Sandy. We saw that in New York City with the subway systems. I mean, it can wreak havoc. So we're praying that it just becomes a fish storm and, nobody gets hit by these things, but they are dangerous and can be very, very dangerous. Our next story is something that we talked about on our first hour about Barcelona and, all the coverage that's coming in, people talking about just how heinous the crime was. Somebody, again, mowing down folks. We got Charlottesville here. We had neo-Nazi, and we got ISIS mowing down people. It's just their modus operandi of such a cowardly thing to do in the first place, to mow somebody down in a vehicle, to kill somebody that way. Just an evil way. And I think it's freaky for people. I've talked to some locals around here about it, and they said, I'm going to be careful where, we're out and about, kind of study the area that I'm at, walk a little closer to the buildings itself, not be so far out in the middle. You have to think about these things because you just don't know when somebody feels like they got a calling from Allah or from ISIS, from Inspire magazine to do this crazy stuff. But President Donald Trump, he tweeted words of assurance today, this morning as a matter of fact, that the nation's law enforcement agencies are on alert and closely watching for any signs of trouble in the wake of terrorist attacks in Barcelona. Homeland Security and law enforcement are on alert, closely watching for any sign of trouble. He says our borders are far tougher than ever before. Signed, Donald J. Trump at Real Donald Trump, August 18th, which is today. So that's good news. And like I said, the first hour, if you don't get the first hour, you go to forthepeopleshow.com or just ask your local radio station to do the first hour. But we're grateful that they carry what they do. But you can hear what I had to say about Barcelona. We talked a lot more about that. But the latest terror attacks reveal ISIS may be much bigger than first suspected. That's what a lot of people are thinking. Dana Loesch thinks that. ISIS claimed responsibility for the terror attack yesterday in which a van plowed into a crowd of 13 people. crowd of pedestrians and killed 14 people. The death toll rose overnight. First said 13, now it's 14. I guess one died overnight, unfortunately. But the latest tragedy adds Spain to its growing list of countries targeted in a series of terror attacks using automobiles. Terrorists can travel especially easily between European countries because of European Union travel regulations. And it seems like there is a huge multi-city cell, and that they are able to travel easily between each country. And this is according to Dana Loesch on today's Dana. And how in the world does law enforcement fight something like this when terrorists can slip by so easily and undetected? Dana asked of guest panelists Doc Thompson, Kane Little, and Sarah Gonzalez. I don't know how you track them like this because it's not just them, answered Doc. He added, it's the same type of attack now that's become common. You run people over because everyone can get a car. This is the new norm. That's a shame, folks. That's what really caught my eye. This is the new norm. The Bastille Day, remember that? I mean, this has just become really commonplace. This is really a cowardly thing to do, but it definitely makes people fearful, and it does rack up some carnage. And everybody can get access to a vehicle. Just going to have to be a little bit smarter on particular things. The left, man, this is like, to me, the timing is just so wrong. But you got, a senator asking for the assassination of the president. Now Arnold Schwarzenegger is trying to teach Donald Trump on what he should or shouldn't say. Again, this guy can't run for president. It's just amazing how many people want to tell the president what to do. Celebrities, to me, it's just laughable. But here's Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. Giving advice to Trump. Crazy. But here he is.
There are not two sides to bigotry, and there are not two sides to hatred. And if you choose to march with a flag that symbolizes the slaughter of millions of people, there are not two sides to that. The only way to beat the loud and angry voices of hate is to meet them a bit louder.
Who marched with him? Who was marching with the flags? Who was supporting the neo-Nazis? Who was doing that other than the neo-Nazis? I didn't see anybody that I went into the voting polls that voted for Donald Trump doing that. Nobody in my neighborhood, nobody in my city, nobody I've traveled with, and nobody that I've talked to. But go ahead. Let's give us the advice. Mr. Morality, by the way, who was bonking his housekeeper when beautiful Maria Shriver was your lovely wife. We were bonking, and I'm sorry, but she was nasty. Oh, my God. Mr. Morality giving advice to the president.
In more reasonable voices. And that includes you, President Trump.
Ooh.
In fact, as president of this great country, you have a moral responsibility.
Just like your moral responsibility is governor of California.
To send an unequivocal message that you won't stand for hate and racism.
He already did that.
Now let me help you write your speech here a little bit.
Oh, you're not the speech writer, but okay.
As President of the United States and as a Republican, I reject the support of white supremacists.
Did that.
The country that defeated Hitler's armies is no place for Nazi flags. The party of Lincoln.
Yes, the party of Lincoln. That's the party we're representing here. The party of Lincoln, not the party of the Dems, who actually wanted slavery to continue. Dems, anybody to the left didn't know that. It's true. It's not the party of Lincoln that was going for slavery. It actually was the left.
Won't stand with those who carry the battle flag of the failed Confederacy. Was that difficult? You see, I told you. I have a message to the neo-Nazis and to the white nationalists and to the neo-Confederates.
Yeah.
Let me be just as blunt as possible.
Please.
You heroes are losers. You're supporting a lost cause. And believe me, I know the original Nazis. I was born in Austria in 1947, shortly after the Second World War. And growing up, I was surrounded by broken men, Men who came home from the war filled with shrapnels and guilt. Men